celebrate Dormition. And it's a feast in which we do not have gospel accounts for it happened much after the resurrection of Christ. But what we have is holy tradition and the writings of the first saints who still witnessed, met, and spoke to Holy Mother. It is also Sunday, and as in every Sunday we are offered a passage from the Gospel. Today we spoke of a parable of a king who forgave his servant a great debt, but the servant, not learning his lesson, would not forgive the small debt of his friend, and for which he was punished. The cautionary tale here is, do not be as that servant, but learn from God's grace given unto you. How do we learn, brothers and sisters? How do we see? How do we catch ourselves before we become that servant who later gets condemned? Well, we see it through the holy tradition that I mentioned, and through the life and the eyewitness accounts of the Holy Mother of God. According to tradition, based on the words and eyewitness accounts of higher martyr Dionysius the Areopagite, Ignatius the God-bearer, they wrote, they met, they spoke with her, and they wrote concerning the Mother of God. She was a virgin, not only in body, but also in soul, humble of heart, circumspect in word, wise in mind, not overly given to speaking, a lover of reading and work, and prudent in speech. Her rule of life was to offend no one, to intend good for everyone, to respect the age, not envy others, avoid bragging, be healthy of mind, and to love virtue. When did she ever hurl the least insult in the face of her parents? When was she at discord with her kin? When did she ever puff up with pride before a modest person, or laugh at the weak, or shun the destitute? With her there was nothing of glaring eyes, nothing of unseemly words, nor improper conduct. She was modest in the movement of her body, her step quiet and more straightforward, so that her face was an expression of soul. She was a personification of purity. All her days she was concerned with fasting. She slept only when necessary, and even then, when her body was at rest, she was still alert in spirit, repeating in her dreams what she had read, or the implementation of proposed intentions, or those planned yet anew. She was out of her house only for church, and then only in the company of relatives. Otherwise, she seldom appeared outside her house in the company of others, and was her own best overseer. Others could protect her only in body, but she herself guarded her character. In this short passage, brothers and sisters, I wish to point out the beginning and the end. She was a virgin not only in body, but also in soul. And while others could protect her only in body, she herself guarded her character. Allow me to offer a short story. There was a monk who was a little prideful and was being disrupted by all the goings around him. So he decided, I'm going to get in a boat, go in the middle of the lake, and there I will pray. There I'll find sanctity, there I will find my peace. And so he did. And so he felt proud of himself that in the lake he could focus and pray. He closed his eyes and did so. All of a sudden, in the midst of his prayers, he was disrupted with a big bang what felt another boat struck him, and he became angry. How dare he strike me? What is his problem? Can't you see what I'm doing? And he opened his eyes to confront the person. And the boat was empty. The other boat the moorings got loose and it floated out of him. And then he understood. He wasn't angry. He was angry here. It was within his soul. And as the Virgin herself, she was the only one to protect her character. It is what we must do for our daily goings on. This world itself, everyone blames each other. Everyone points a finger and says, you are the source of my anger. You are the source of my dismay. It comes from within. Christ himself taught, do not be worried about the sliver in your brother's eyes when you have a log in yours. And so, here, on Dormition, with eyewitness accounts to her life, let us try to emulate that spiritual peace from within. For all sins, all of them start from us when we fall victim to the devil's temptations. Let us not fall to hopelessness, to despondency, how difficult this is. For at her Dormition, she appeared after her body was miraculously removed from this earth. She appeared to apostles and said, rejoice, for I am always with you, and I will always be the intercessor before Christ the Lord. And so she has been, and so she is for us. Our very church is dedicated in her name. And how many times has she herself, through her grace, be present here, through the Curse Root icon that came to us, through the Hawaiian icon, in the past the Montreal icon, all bits of her grace coming here to bless us and ordain us in our struggle against sin. Let us emulate her life, even as much as we can in the smallest of ways, so we too can rejoice in her presence in the kingdom to come.